Hello everyone, welcome to GSS Core. This is Ajay Shah. So let's start today the discussion of 10 MCQs from current affairs. So this is the first question for you, and the first question is from National Blindness and Visual Impairment Survey 2019. So there are three statements. Let us read the statement. The first statement says, according to the survey, cataract is the leading cause of blindness in the people above 50 years. So this statement is correct as per the survey. Now the second statement says blindness is more pronounced among illiterates as compared to the literates. So this statement is also correct. Now the third statement says the financial constraint is the most important barrier in accessing treatment. So this can be solved by common sense, because in India, financial constraint is the biggest factor in accessing health, and that is why the government is planning health for all. So this statement is also correct. All the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So A will be the correct answer. Now some value addition. So the Union Health Minister released National Blindness and Visual Impairment Survey 2019. This survey has been conducted by AIIMS Delhi and Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, some of the key findings of the report says that cataract is the leading cause of blindness in people above 50 years. The survey also says Bijnor, a district in Uttar Pradesh, has highest population suffering from blindness. In fact, around 3.67% of the districts are blind, which is quite shocking. Now, the report also says that blindness is more pronounced among illiterates as compared to literates. The survey also says that blindness is more prevalent in the rural areas as compared to the urban areas. Now, for your knowledge, India is the first country which has launched National Program for Control of Blindness in 1976. And the aim of the program is to reduce blindness prevalence in our country to 0.3% by 2020. So that's all. So now let us move to the next question. So this question is on tribunals. Fine. So let us read the question. Recently, Supreme Court struck down a restructure of various tribunals done through Finance Act 2017. In this regard, consider the following statement regarding tribunal. So the first statement says it is an administrative body established for the purpose of discharging quasi-judicial duties. Fine. So this is absolutely correct, because tribunals basically perform quasi-judicial duties. Now the second statement says the provision related to administrative tribunals were mentioned under Part 14A of original constitution. So this statement is wrong, because tribunals were not mentioned in the original constitution, but it came after 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. So only one will be the correct answer. Now some value addition. So what is tribunal? Tribunal is an administrative body which has been established for the purpose of discharging quasi-judicial duties so as to reduce the burden of ordinary courts. Now, tribunal function as an effective mechanism to share the burden of judiciary, and original constitution did not provide any provision with respect to tribunal. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976 added a new part, that is 4A in the constitution. And this part is entitled as tribunals, and it consists of two articles, that is Article 323A and Article 323B. Article 323A deals with administrative tribunals, and Article 323B deals with tribunals for other matters. Now, why tribunal was in news? Because Government of India came with Finance Act 2017. And this Finance Act 2017 basically gave central government the authority to decide qualification terms and under other service conditions for tribunal members. So Supreme Court of India in November 2019 struck down this Finance Act 2017, and Supreme Court of India recommended to set a body, that is National Tribunal Commission, and the purpose of this body will be to oversee selection process of members, fixing criteria for appointment, salary, allowances and all other service conditions for tribunal members. So that's all. Let's move to the next question. So this question is on Right to Information Act, which was in news. So let us see the question. The first statement says the non-government organization financed indirectly by funds of government is a public authority under the Act. So this is absolutely correct, because any institution or body which receives substantial fund from the government is deemed to be a public authority under RTI Act. Now the second statement says while the institution of Supreme Court falls under the ambit of the Act, the office of Chief Justice of India has been exempted. So this is factually incorrect, because recently Chief Justice of India, the body, has been brought within the purview of RTI Act. So only A will be the correct. Only one statement is correct. So A will be the correct answer. Now some value addition. So what is RTI? So as per the section 2H of the RTI, public authority means any authority or body which has been established by the constitution, parliament, state legislature or by any notification of appropriate government. And it also include any body which is owned, controlled or substantially financed by government. Fine. So that is why NGO also comes within the preview of RTI. Now recently in a landmark verdict, Supreme Court of India held that the Office of Chief Justice of India is a public authority and it will fall within the ambit of Right to Information Act. As per the bench, the Office of CJI is a part and parcel of institution, that is Supreme Court, which is itself a public authority, and so is the Office of Chief Justice of India. That's all. So let's move to the next question. Now this question is on Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Fine. So this is an important scheme. So let's read the statements. Basically in this question we have to choose incorrect statement. So be cautious here. So the first statement says the threshold yield for calculation of compensation to the farmer is based on an average yield of the crop for the last 2 cropping season. So this is incorrect because the compensation is not for the last 2-year cropping season, but the threshold yield is calculated on the basis of the average yield of the crop for the last 7 years. So this statement is incorrect, the first one. Now the second statement says post-harvest losses up to the period of 30 days are covered within this scheme. So this is also incorrect because post-harvest losses are covered for a period of 14 days and not 30 days. So statement 1 and 2 both are incorrect. Now the third statement says for horticulture and commercial crops, the premium paid by the farmer is 5% of the sum covered. So this statement is right. Now the fourth statement says selection of implementing agency in the state is done by Union Ministry of Agriculture. So this is wrong because selection of implementation agency in the state is done by concerned state government and not by the central government. So 1, 2 and 4 are incorrect and 3 is the only correct option, and since we have to choose incorrect, so option number A will be the correct answer. So I have already explained this question, so let us move to the next question. So this question is on Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So let us read the statements. The first statement says OIC is the second largest intergovernmental organization representing the collective voice of Muslim world. So what do you think? So it is absolutely correct because after United Nations, OIC is the second largest intergovernmental organization. First statement is correct. Now the second statement says United Nations has observer status at OIC. So it looks little tricky because normally the organizations have observer status in United Nations, but the statement says United Nations is having observer status at OIC, but this statement is correct. Now the third statement says India recently made its maiden appearance at the foreign ministers meeting of OIC. This statement is also correct. All the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct. D is the correct answer. Now some value addition. So what is OIC? Organization of Islamic Cooperation it is the second largest intergovernmental organization after United Nations, and total membership is that of 57 states and it spreads over 4 continents. Now this organization is collective voice of Muslim world. It basically endeavors to safeguard and protect the interests of Muslim world in the spirit of promoting international peace and harmony among various people of the world. Now the OIC has reserved its membership only for the Muslim majority countries, and it should be noted that Russia, Thailand and some other few countries, they are having observer status in OIC. Now some international organizations like United Nations, then NAM, then League of Arab States, African Union, then Economic Cooperation Organization, they all are having observer status at OIC. Now as far as India is concerned, India made its maiden appearance at the foreign ministers meeting of the OIC in 2019 as guest of honor. This is because this was for the first time India has been invited to OIC after 1969 when Pakistan lobbied against the participation of India. So that's all. Let us move to the next question. So this question is a very factual question, and the question says about Nilembu Kudnir. Fine. So the first statement said it's a Siddha medicine providing protection against chikungunya and dengue. Second says it's a fruit bat species. Third says it's an invasive plant. The fourth says it's a fiber yielding perfectly sustainable rhizome. So the correct answer is option number A. And this Nilambu Kudinar was used by Tamil Nadu government to treat dengue recently. So it's a purely factual question. Let us move to the next question. So this question is on essential drugs, which is quite important nowadays in current affairs. So let us read the statement. The first statement says, the government directly regulates the price of medicines that are part of national list of essential medicines. So this is correct because government regulates such prices. Now the second statement says, National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority monitors prices of both controlled and decontrolled drugs. So this is also correct. Both the statement 1 and 2 are correct. So option C is the right answer. Now some value addition. So National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority was constituted as an attached office to Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and as an independent regulator. Now what is the objective of this body? The objective is to regulate the pricing of drugs and to ensure the accessibility of medicine at affordable prices. Now the government directly regulates prices of medicines that are part of this national list of essential medicines by capping their selling prices at a simple average of all the drugs in a particular segment. That's all. Now this question is on National Statistical Commission Bill 2019. So let us read the statement. The first statement says, NSC is an apex body on a statistical matter, but its suggestions are not binding on the government. So this can be solved by common sense because normally such type of bodies, their recommendation are only recommendatory in nature and not binding on the government. So first statement is correct. Now the second statement says NSC falls under the Ministry of Commerce. So this also appears to be wrong because NSC falls within the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So second statement is wrong. Now the third statement says India is not a follower of UN Statistical Commission led system since 1948. So this is factually wrong because India is a member of United Nations Statistical Commission. So only statement correct is option number A. So A will be the correct answer. Now let us go for some value addition. So why this was in news? Because government was facing a lot of criticism. Why the criticism was there? Because government was facing criticism over credibility and independence of India's official statistics and data. So the government through the draft National Statistical Commission 2019 proposed a statutory body, that is National Statistical Commission. So this bill proposed to set up a full-time NSC, a permanent secretariat, and dedicated funds and powers to supervise the core statistical products of our country. Now this bill, NSC Bill 2019, it also envisages financial autonomy for the Commission through an independent fund, that is National Statistical Fund. Fine. Now if we want to draw the historical genesis, then we can draw the historical genesis of this NSC from a committee which was headed by N.R. Madhavan Menon Committee. So this can be asked in prelims examination. The name of committee is N.R. Madhavan Menon Committee. And this committee recommended to set up an independent audit and assessment wing under NSC to be headed by a chief statistical auditor. So that's all. Let's move to the next question. So this question is on Perception Index 2019. Fine. So let us read the statement. The first statement says India's ranking as per the CPI 2019 improved compared to the CPI 2018. So this is factually wrong because India has not improved, but the ranking of India has degraded in comparison to 2018. Now the second statement says, as per the report, corruption is more pervasive in the countries where big money can flow freely into the electoral campaigning. So this statement is correct as per the report. The third statement says, most of the countries in the world have shown little to no change in the level of corruption. So this is also correct because most of the countries have shown poor performance, and so statement 2 and 3 are correct. So C will be the correct answer. Now some value addition. So India ranking in Corruption Perception Index 2019 has slipped from 78 to 80 compared to the previous year as per the Transparency International. Now Transparency International has questioned the unfair and opaque political financing of our country. So this can be seen in the context of electoral bond scheme also. Now, as per the report, corruption is more pervasive in the country where big money can flow freely into the electoral campaigning and where governments listens only to the voices of wealthy or well-connected individuals. So this same observation has also been observed by Vora committee, and Vora committee also says that electoral process of our country, that is the biggest source of corruption. Now, as per the report, in the last 8 years, only 22 countries are there which have significantly improved their CPI scores, and the remaining 137 countries, the level of corruption has shown little or virtually no change. So let us move to the next question. So this is the last question, and this question is on Appiary on Wheels. Appiary on Wheels. Fine. So let us read the statement. The first statement says the initiative is launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So this statement is wrong, because Appiary on Wheels has been launched by Union Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and not Ministry of Social Justice. First statement is wrong. Second statement says it aims to address the challenges faced by beekeepers by easy upkeep and migration of bee boxes having live bee colonies. This statement is right. So option B will be the correct answer. Now let us see some validation on Appiary of Wheels. So Appiary on Wheels is a unique concept that has been designed by Khadi and Village Industries Commission under Ministry of MSME. Now this initiative was launched as the part of National Honey Mission. Now objective of this mission is to provide substantial employment to unemployed youth by conserving the honeybee habitat and tapping the untapped natural resources of this bee. So that's all for today. So I hope you liked the class. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.